Throughout life's constant flow of experiences, we face a variety of trials. With each success or stumble, we learn something new and develop a sharper level of perception to recognize upcoming challenges and their similarities to processes we have experienced before. The ability to handle challenges that arise from the same themes surrounding our reality, whether with increasing mastery or at least more agility, can give us a false sense of security and even contribute to excessive self-confidence. Certainly, having confidence in oneself and the ability to process the symbols of life is an important foundation for progressing on the path of self-awareness. However, depending on how this unfolds, things can quickly crumble. Confidence is illusory when, despite our efforts to sustain it, we cannot feel peace. This is because it still manifests in a mental dimension, in conflict with life, rather than in the dimension of the self that is working in service to life and evolution. And so, the challenging moment that we all need to face at some point in our lives arrives, the moment of crossing the desert. The symbolism here is profound, expressing itself in very particular ways for each being. The truth is that we are in a hurry to express ourselves, eager to be known. We long to inspire others, teach others, control others, while also judging the path and progress of others in their spiritual journey. However, none of this can have any beneficial effect when we have not yet crossed this inner desert. And this desert gradually announces itself in our lives. All beings seek spiritual nourishment. We have this craving for understanding, for healing, and especially for guidance. Something in us is attentive and knows that it is still trapped in the cycles of suffering and illusion that support the wheel of karma. So we navigate through life seeking this guidance, which often manifests externally through symbols, experiences, techniques, and gurus that assist us on our path of awakening. However, at a certain point in our journeys, our dissatisfaction with the things of the world becomes evident. Material reality no longer captivates us, and this is the first sign that the soul is turning inward, seeking something in the inner recesses of the self. Yet, this inward movement is not just about dissatisfaction with the external material reality. It is a spiritual dissatisfaction with the elements and teachings that come from outside. This is because, at this stage, nothing external nourishes our spirit in the way it needs. And at the same time, we do not yet have a fluent spiritual current that nourishes us from within and anchors our being. This moment, this gap, is what we call the desert. But we only reach it when we are truly determined to be guided internally. Even if the decision does not seem clear or conscious, if the desert presents itself, it is because, in some way, we have already made the decision. However, encountering the desert, as expected, is arduous. Nothing outside fully satisfies us, and the possibility of finding the teaching and strength we need within ourselves is not yet concrete. And the thirst only increases. We all stop being content with the life we once knew, right before finding the true life we are really seeking. But before this life announces itself, we linger in this stretch of the journey, this moment where we are neither one thing nor the other. We have not crossed the desert, but we are not outside of it either. The purpose of this situation is to verify, to ourselves, how persevering we are. It is through this situation that it becomes clear whether our faith and loyalty are mature enough. Because if our strength, resilience, faith, and ability to continue the evolutionary process of life were those of a beginner, this desert makes it clear to us. It makes everything artificial, false, and illusory crumble and be swallowed in its sands. This desert strips us naked and puts us directly in contact with what remains when all veils are removed. The desert is a trial, but it is also an impulse. And for those truly prepared to cross it, It is also a significant divider, firmly marking in the spirit the testament that what crossed the desert and reached the other side, persevering, is true. Because in this desert, when we persevere, continue, and do not give up the path, deciding to persist despite everything, that is when the desert ends. It is in this moment that, from within, imperceptibly at first, what needs to come begins to emerge. And through this trial, we even start to convey truth to others. By experiencing the desert and crossing it, we have proven in ourselves what we intend to transmit to others: strength and support. Without undergoing this trial, it is not possible to transmit the truth of our experience, as what we are talking about is not deeply rooted in ourselves, and others cannot feel secure about something we are expressing without a profound feeling. It is important to be clear about this, because the spiritual evolutionary process creates many bridges through which we connect with other beings and can offer strength and faith. To not disappoint our fellow travelers in this point of faith and perseverance, we cannot casually convey words that do not carry the potency of a lived experience. So, having understood the role of the desert, its symbolic power, and its evolutionary function in our lives, how can we find the strength to overcome this challenge? The foundation that sustains us in these moments of intense trial, as it is happening, is called gratitude. Here, we are not talking about a naive gratitude, but rather of gratitude rooted in reality, which understands that each process is a foundation supporting the evolution of the spirit and is able to feel the dimension of the necessary learnings brought by life. One who is not grateful for the process itself, who does not practice gratitude for the trials they go through and have gone through in their life, cannot find that firm center within themselves. But gratitude is not learned at this stage. It needs to have been exercised in some way through past trials, because this is the moment when, strengthened in us, it provides the basis for us to continue without faltering in our journey. Therefore, these processes we go through serve our spiritual growth. And the desert is a crucial milestone, a testament to our loyalty and faith in ourselves, in the most true and real part that inhabits us and continues despite everything. However, crossing the desert is not a task that can be halfway accomplished. Often, we circle the desert, fearful, anxious, and meanwhile our life seems suspended in a hiatus, waiting for our movement. Either we decide to tread this path and feel the warmth of the sand on our feet, the hot air in our lungs, and the aridity that tests and invokes the power of our spirit. Or we need to understand that we do not have the tools for this journey to occur, and then we move towards acquiring them to prepare for this trial, which will inevitably arise again. After all, it is a symbol that manifests as a portal and a necessity of our own spirit.